Hello, Denise here at Junk Journal Junkie UK. Back today to do some using up of clusters. So I've still got loads. I think I told you last video I started with 3 pots. This is the 1 pot that I got out. So I've made a little dent in it because it was packed, but still got a lot of them to use before I have the fun of making more. So good morning, I hope you're well, happy and ready for a nice, gentle, easy video. So yesterday I made the scrapbook paper flip outs with the clusters. I think I made 11, so I used 11 clusters. Today I'm also going to do some mass making. I'm just going to use up some of my digitals today and make some fold downs. So very similar kind of thing, just nice, easy crafting. Just shaped like an envelope and then held down by the cluster. I'm sure you've seen it before. It's just a lovely thing to do. You can do them in all shapes and sizes. You can make them like envelopes, or you can just fold them over, make them like bits of paper. You can just use all your pieces of digitals. The reason I'm using digitals, doing a mass make of digitals, is so that they'll fit in my thinner one signature journals easier. So there are a couple that I just made to show you the idea. Like I say, loads of people have done them. I'm sure you've seen them many times before. So I'm just going to cut this last digital up. So I left it really to show you how much border my printer does leave on my papers. Okay, this is a Victoria design, which I've really enjoyed using these papers. I've made a journal with them, but for ephemera as well, because they're like lined and oh, that's a piece that's not backed, which you can always also use for this, and we'll explain about that as well. But by the time I've chopped everything off border wise, I don't have much paper, so I thought I'd just show you how I quickly get all mine to the I was going to say A5, which is a UK, or I think it might be European actually, size, which is half the A4, but actually these are not even going to be half the A4 because of the border. So what I do is I chop the 2 sides off. If you remember, I've only got the small chopper, and I'm not right good at chopping straight lines. Not many people are. A few people are skilled at it, but cutting straight lines, not very easy. So what I do is I fold it in half like that and chop the bottom. And I do that for my journal pages because they need folding in the middle anyway. So that's absolutely fine. You've got like a journal page there. But then, so I've got all 4 sides straight. When I want the small, we'll call it A5 for ease, I then put it in again and just take a slither off that middle piece, and then that leaves me with some nice, hopefully, depending on, well, that doesn't look very straight, does it? Depending on the way I put it in the machine. If the tops were there, that should have been straight, to be fair. So look, and my machine don't go across one more, so I will have to line them up on that line. Maybe I wiggled, I don't know. I mean, for what I'm using now, it doesn't matter. Let's cut the same amount off, so it must think it's square. We'll see when we fold them over. So it doesn't matter too much because you can put them in again. You know, when you get them to this size folded up, if you find one edge is a lot longer than the other, you put them in the machine again and fold them up. So there's always a way, and I never ever do anything perfect. I'm not a perfect kind of person. Excuse me, someone at the door. Okay, and I'm back. So, just some ink delivered to the door. So, shall we do one with a plain back to start with? I think I might just ever so slightly ink those white edges. I mean, the back's going to be this, because this one's plain. I could stencil on it, which I've done on some of them. I could stamp on it. You could paint it. You could just ink it, bring it down with your ink. I'm going to leave this one nice and white because I've got some journals that are really light coloured, and some nice white writing space in them will be fine. I'm just thinking what I want on the top. So you need it upside down. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you need it upside down and then turn it over. And you need quite a big piece on the bottom. So let me try and explain to you what I'm doing. I'm sure you've seen it loads of times before. Let's get it on a nice straight line so they're even. Right, so because I'm using bigger clusters, is that even? Not quite. I'm using my grid. Because I'm using bigger clusters, yeah, we're there. I want a bigger part at the bottom to stick them on because they're quite chunky, this bit here. So I need a bit of depth here. Help if I folded it straight, wouldn't it? Get my bone folder on it, that might make the life. I always make the first one complicated, don't I? That's it, and ink the edges again a little bit. Just if any white showing then on the bottom, it's not now. Yep. And then just choose a cluster. Oops. To go on it. So it's more of a wide one. I mean, they are quite big, these clusters. That's a small one, isn't it? Colours go as well, actually. Looks like I've cut the top off it for something. I probably have. I wonder if I might stick something over the top, a label, a Tracy label of some description. Just, oh, it's got a price ticket on it, hasn't it? Just to change the shape of the top a little. Right, we've got some reds on it, so you know, just so it's not completely yeah, I don't see why not. Try not to second guess myself all the time. I mean, it's fine, it could have gone on straight, no problem. Just gives it a little bit more interest for the eye. And then when we've done this one, we'll get to some mask making. Oops, that's not pleasant, is it? I've just left my glue with the lid off again. That's my favourite trick at the moment. That's better. The thing about Fabri-Tac is it does peel off really easy when you make a mess of your nozzle, as long as you can let it dry. Yeah, that's better. It's just not quite so. So remember not to glue all the way up, because you want a bit for the envelope top to go under for it to hold. These are quite chunky, so I'm putting quite a bit of glue on them. That's it. And you don't, oops, and then I pushed it. So you don't need an awful lot of room for it to go under. Yeah, that's fine, just enough, and then leave it to dry a few minutes before you put the flap under. Right. Clusters are exploding. Lids off the glue. Okay, let's do a slightly different one. So just, yeah, so this is some paper somebody gave me. So I think the dots inside the blue and white ones are fine to be written on. So this one I can just find the middle. Yeah. It's quite stiff paper actually. Fold it at the middle. And then I should have quite a nice big chunky lower piece here. To stick a cluster on. So I'm not mass making them, I'm doing one at a time. It's not what I said I was going to do, so let's mass make them, then we can look at the clusters. So that's one. There's another dotty one here. Yeah, I think those light dots are fine for writing on. So those roses got a right way up. They seem to be all over, so we're fine again, I think. So we fold it across the middle. Or evenly, doesn't have to meet, you can make it meet in the middle or not, it's completely up to you. Just make sure we're square there. And then, that's going to be a nice big one. So they're kind of square, I like the squareness of those two. So obviously the size and shape of your paper will decide what size and shape you're going to have when you finish. Right, well, that's the green inside, I think. And that needs to be upside down so that it's the right way. Yeah, I'll fold it over. So it's not such a long piece compared to the width this one, so we'll make it shallower at the top. So we can have a little bit more room down there. That's it. Getting the hang of it now. See, that one's really pretty on the back. You could put a little stamp on there so it looked like a proper letter and have it, oh, that looks a bit wonky to me. It's not, it must be the shape of the, must be the pattern making it look like that piece there that goes sideways. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so you can decorate them and make them freestanding rather than stuck in. Have a piece of that on the outside for a change. This is light enough to write on. So I'm using my grid to try and, when I'm not meeting my flaps in the middle, try and make them still symmetrical so we don't go on the wonk. No wonky donkey today if we can help it. Well, I'd never have one if I could help it, but yeah. Well, that's come out quite nice. So that's a shabby dabby doodah, this side of it. The other side's the Victoria Designs. I like that one. It's pretty. A bit envelopey looking as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the one that I did. That's there. So we can fasten it now. So we've got 3 done, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we do 3 more, I've got a dark big one here. Look, this is shabby dabby doodah, piece of fur. Needs to be upside down. Yep, that's right. So I haven't cut this one, I can see it's not straight. Trying to think what kit it's from. No, it's not coming to me. That doesn't surprise you, does it? So I'm just going to fold it over and then I'm going to make it straight on the chopper. We go straight with that. What does that look like? Yeah, and then just chop the edges off, so that shows you what you can do with unstraight pieces of paper to get them looking straight. Or you can just make them and chop them down to the size that you want in your journal. So obviously we'll have cut edges on the flap there. That's fine. Is that fairly central? It'll do. No stressing. Not today, because when you see this it'll be fold it over a bit there. It'll be Sunday morning, so it should be stress-free crafting. What we make's come in second, just the joy of playing with the paper is the first priority. That's what Sundays are about. Oh no, stop. 2 more to go yet. So this is white inside, these are both white inside, so It needs to be upside down. Yeah, so that when I fold it over, I'm going to lose that, aren't I? I might chop that off and make it smaller, because that's going to look silly. And then be able to read half of it. Who knows what it'll say when we chop it. Okay, we'll use that for something. Pop it in the scrap. Okay, so I'm going away again imminently to the caravan. I am going to pack and take things with me to do. It is not straight. Is that better? Nice, simple, easy crafting, she said. Does that look straight? Yes, it does. I'm on a line, so it's definitely straight, but it's way too big, isn't it? So these are going to have to be really tiny. So I need to square up on my grid. So no frills crafting here. I'm not going to stop and cut and take out anything that goes wrong. It's real life. It's how I would craft without the camera on. Okay, does that look right? Looks better. A few creases in it. Yeah, that's fine. I love the way you get the different shapes all the time. Well, the lines are running straight. You can see I've had a couple of goes at it. Lie flat. Right, let's not do that again. Let's pinch the middle. Oh, we want to be upside down. We are upside down. And just hope this one's long enough for it to meet in the middle. Went off there, look. I suppose we don't have to, yeah, we could just roll that under a little bit. Oh, you see, if I had brains, I'd be dangerous. Even a little bit less. So guys, bit of a how not to craft, I guess. Tutorial. Oh, still not going to be right, is it? Just making those way too big. Tiny, tiny, tiny ones. That's it. What was it on that one? There. Nope, it's got to be square. Right, I'm meeting myself coming back with this one. It's going to be so crumpled. This one might need a bit of embellishing. Hide all the creases. Perhaps I just haven't got that one straight. I think I might give up with this one. No, don't be defeated. Okay, we're straight there finally. If a little wrinkled. So this might be going in a grungy, distressed one. Well, did I make hard work of that? It's pretty though. I might have to put a cluster on the top of that instead of the bottom. Yeah, then the job's a good one. Okay, let's ink them up and see what we end up with. Okay, so I hope you like seeing the crafting warts and all. I mean, some of it is about reaching around the tripod and, you know, being on camera and trying to do it right, but some of it is just, you know, the way crafting is. You try something, it's not right, you undo it and try again. I know the point of a mass make is that you just make all the pieces and constantly, I don't think that's going to need much, is it? You know, just make them repetitive one after another. That's not really what's happened, but at the end of the day we've still ended up with 10 or 12 usable pieces that hopefully will be beautiful in a minute when they've got some clusters on them. I'm not over inking, I just want to disguise some of the white cut edge, and it would look silly if we only did it on the cut edge, so inking round. There we go. When you get them all together in a pile with the clusters on, they just look beautiful, so wait till the end, we'll see. Right, so a dark one, bring the clusters in again for you to see. I mean, I could get the whole box out and look through them and find an amazing cluster to go on there, but I'd rather just pick a few out and use from there. Right, I'm thinking I might want something a bit lighter, but I don't know. What about this young girl? She's a big piece. I've got quite a few the other way on. I looked at that one, didn't I? Right, there's a butterfly and there's butterflies on it. Yep, so that's a possibility. I think the others might all be a little bit too big. Might be a common problem, that. Right, so we only want the bottom third of this. So I'm in the middle of doing my Queen Victoria album, if you've been watching, journal. And I'm going to make a couple of clusters with some of the Queen Victoria embellishments that I've got to put on some of the ephemera. So I'm looking forward to doing that soon. Yeah, like that. Leave it to dry while we do another. Don't really want flowers on flowers here, do we? I quite like that. I wonder if I could trim that down a bit. This is the beauty of these clusters. You really can make them any size you want. How far off are we? Because I don't want to cut any of the word off at the top. It's a very square piece, but it's a very square envelope. Yeah, I think I could maybe get away with that. What about if I tear it down the side so that it's not square everywhere? Oops, nibble into it a bit. That's it, it's lost its squareness now, apart from up there. Take the chunk out now. Cutting into the stitching. I have to put blubber glue on the back of that. Yeah, that's better. Right. So it goes quite a long way down. Goes down to about there. Just put blubber glue on that. Actually, I might need to leave that a minute and let that glue, otherwise it's going to glue down. So we'll come back to that one in a couple of moments. Green, very pale green. That was an easy one, wasn't it? It's not a very big. Yep. Are we inked? It's because we're only inked on one side. So if you put them down really strong, and they are quite strong clusters anyway, they've got good strong card behind them. quite a good length, that, so that should hold it even though there's only about a quarter of it glued down. We'll give it a minute to see. Got them drying all over now. That one will close now. And I've got this little one here winking at me for this red. Yep, how much you only need about a third of that. I like the frilly little bit that's hanging below as well. Okay, how many's left? 1, 2, well, 2 and 1 that I butchered. This is sweet. This is the one that's all creased and crinkled. I was thinking about putting one on the top of that rather than the bottom. Something a bit weighty to hold it down. What about that? That's nice, and that's grungy. Yeah, because it's grungy inside. I think I might need to, because of all the creases in there, let's put some stenciling on it. Hide it a little bit. Any paper under there? No, but I've got a piece of card that doesn't matter if it gets scrunched up. Okay. Oh, it's coffee smell from that card. Lovely. So it's just a Tim Holtz, the Tim Holtz stencil that I'm always using at the moment because I love it. Just swirly kind of. Yeah, I'm pulling bits off me. Yeah, like that. Pulling, ouch, 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 ouch. Bits off that because I shouldn't really be using this. And it has all sorts of colours on it, but I don't suppose that will matter either. Oh, like I say, they look nice stamped inside as well. I mean, I'm not trying to hide the, I mean, I'd like to hide the creases, it's not going to. I'm not trying to hide the creases, I'm just trying to highlight the grunginess of it a bit. Yeah. That's better. Let's see if we can get it folded. There's so many lines now. Yeah. That's it, just looks better inside when we open it up. And where has that girl gone? What have I done with her? So I believe that is yeah, I think it's an Artie Mays freebie. She's got some Victorian photographs from her Facebook. No, yes, Facebook page. It's either a Facebook page or a website, I can't remember. I think she has them on both, so yeah, I like that. I like that on there. Just different, something different from the others. So, happy accident, I guess, again. No mistakes. Just a change of plan. I've gone too high, no. So, because it's a really big cluster, it'll still weight it down in the book, in the journal. Yeah, nice and grungy. Completely grunge it up in there. I mean, you could always cover the back up with a label or something as well, make it look pretty. But I'm not interested in making the grungy ones look pretty. Yeah, I like that actually. Good. So, a little interlude there while we played. 2 very thin, one very, very thin one. I'm definitely going to have to cut something for that. Anything else in here before I start? I might have made some long ways on ones. Like that. Oh, I like the pink on that as well. So if I just tear that down, They are so versatile, these clusters. Just love working with them. Yeah, that's going to be lovely on there. It's not a lot of space to glue it down. I wonder if to just cut some of that out. There we go, look, crafting warts and all, because it'll be less to stick. So we've still got it poking out both ends. Yeah, that's much better stuck down. Or it will be much better stuck down, I should say, because there's not a lot of room to glue. I'll stick it down first so I don't get glue on the top piece. Yeah, I ain't got anywhere near there with the glue, so we'll just let it stick. Last one then we can look at them. So what are we having on here? This one wants sticking on as well, doesn't it? I was just waiting for the glue on there to dry. Where I cut the stitching and it wasn't going to be fastened down, so too low, no, too high, I mean. One more then. I like the lilac one, but it's definitely too big. No, I want something brighter, a lot brighter. Don't dislike that. I like the brightness of that, but you're way too big, aren't you? I think I'm liking the butterflies on here. Cut the bottom bit off. Sorry, lace. Yep, I like that one. Ink where you've cut. So it's a little bit square now, that one. Let's try and nibble it down the edge a bit. I did nibble it as well. Yeah. Okay, just the bottom third. Gloopy glue, it's because I keep leaving the lid off. Strings. Okay. Lovely. Right, let's put them together. Leave that one till last. And see what we've got. So I'll bring the ones in from over here. Yeah, I suppose if they're if you've got them loose, clipped in loose, they're easier to close because you can tip it right back. You can still do it on the page. Let me put my clusters away. So I still need another cluster job to get rid of a few more. Not get rid of, that doesn't sound nice, does it? Use up. Create some stash. And that one's just holding itself down. So yeah, you can, you know, if that's fastened down, you can open it up like that. Come out. And that'll be fine. And bend it to fasten it down again. Yeah, so they do fit like that, no problem. But they're just easier to close when you can grab them and bend them back like that. Okay. 3, 6, 9, 10. Lovely. Okay, so as always, thank you ever so much for keeping me company while I did that. Comment below and I'll have a little chat with you. I'd love to. Subscribe if you haven't, if you'd like to see more of my content, and give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Come back and see me anyway next time. I've still got the Victoria journal to finish. I've still got the Christmas album to finish, and I'm about to start a flower fairy album, so I'm probably going to be making some flower fairy ephemera next. Okay, have a lovely day, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.